the films that played at Cannes this month. 6 of them will release on movie.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Well, when I got home, I was damn overwhelmed. Opened a bottle of champagne and we drank it down right then and there.
Collectively, we have endorsed a lot of rubbish.
I beg to differ.
I mean,
Speak for yourself, Nikhil.
when we are asked to put.
The film Stolen is a brutal and a very human story. It's about loss, it's about resilience, it's about fighting for the truth, even when there's almost no hope. I love the film, and when I got an opportunity to sit down with the brilliant team of people who put this film together, how could I say no? I mean, look at this lineup of executive producers. There's Anurag Kashyap, Kiran Rao, Nikkhil Advani, Vikramaditya Motwane, starring the very brilliant Abhishek Banerjee, a versatile performer who's transformed from comedy to dramatic roles. He's known for Stree, for Mirzapur, and now he's brought this raw authenticity to Stolen as Gautam. Karan Tejpal is a director and a writer. This is his directorial debut with Stolen. It's received international acclaim, including a special mention at the Zurich Film Festival. And there's Gaurav Dhingra, who is the producer, the production manager. He's known for acclaimed work at Rang De Basanti, Maqbool, and now Stolen. And he's contributed to both feature films and television, including Renovations and The Amazing Race. This is an amazing project, and Amazon Prime Video has put this roundtable together to talk about what really makes this film so special. So my question really to start off is, what brought this group of people together? How did this happen?
I think we all independently saw the film and loved it.
But whose idea was it? I also don't know.
Each of us told Karan and Gaurav that we wanted to do something.
I was like,
whose idea was it? He saw it first. He called me to see it. I saw it. I was blown away. I randomly spoke to Kiran in between. She had seen it. I don't know where you saw it.
Karan, because Karan
So
and
that
I go
I
back.
don't know where you saw it.
I saw it at my screen, my house.
So we've all individually kind of seen it. But he
I saw a 2.5 minute, 3 minute sizzler that you guys made. We were shooting, Abhishek was shooting with me for a film, and we were in Jodhpur, and he said, can I show you something that I'm working on? And he showed it me on a laptop, and I said, who's this writer and who's this director? And and it may have been a few whiskeys down, but I just said, can I help you? How can I help you put this out or whatever? And then we came back. When we came back, we had a screening at
Up here only,
after Venice. Yeah, correct. That's what I saw.
That's where you watched it.
That's what I watched it.
Essentially, I think all of us had the same reaction to the film, which was that this is amazing. Why is it not out there? Why is it not in every cinema?
I mean, you've all said it's a great, fantastic film. What does that mean?
See, I think, somewhere, हम लोग सब cinema में ना, thriller is a genre that we all love done well, if it's done well.
Yeah.
This is one of those thrillers that's really done very well.
It's you've seen it. It's relentless. It's like
relentless.
100 minutes where it's just like you sit down.
How it starts and then it's
You
just
can't
you get
read a
sucked
WhatsApp
in.
message when you're watching it, because then you've missed something.
And that's rare.
No, and
it's rare to come across it.
it keeps revealing, unraveling, and you're like, where is it going? You don't know.
Yeah.
Which is the thing with a special film. A special film will transcend all those things. It will be a great story, great performances, great directing, great writing, great action
Everything.
set pieces, phenomenal sound. Everything comes together in a film. And that's when you're like, okay, this is something special.
But it's also kind of revealing mirror-like so much that we see around us, and it feels really almost uncomfortably close to home, and it's holding up this mirror all the time.
If you see this film, and when people see this film and their car gets stuck somewhere, it's like, you're like, get this car started fast.
So, but Karan, for a debut at Venice premiere, no pressure, 5 minutes standing ovation. Tell us about how that happened.
So I was in Goa and I was in like literally bad signal area when Gaurav calls and says that, Venice wants the film. So first I didn't believe him only. I'm like, don't with me, and this is not a good joke to make, So I didn't believe it, and then he said, no, it's happening, this, that and the other. I mean, who can expect that your film's going to go to Venice? You're at the best I always wanted is that I just make a film that I want to make that's hopefully good, people will like it. And when I got home, I was damn overwhelmed. So my wife and I opened a bottle of champagne and we drank it down right then and there.
One very interesting part, I think, which I realized while showing this film at various festivals is that every country somehow like gave a different response. Like Venice, it was pin drop silence. BFI, they were actually, cheering, and, getting like, they were getting the laughs. We played, some humor in the film.
Yeah.
And it was completely dead in Venice. So we were like, oh no, like I think हमारे jokes काम नहीं किए. But BFI में वो कर रहे थे और वो इंडिया में आके और ज़्यादा कर रहे थे. So in Mami, people just laughing and enjoying through a lot of violence also. So it just made me realize that, okay, how much probably the audience is used to watching or, watching stories of violence on the streets, हम कितने used to हैं. That for us, many of that was funny. Like the characters are struggling, अबे कर ले कुछ, and I could hear people talk and I was like, is this the film we made?
Yeah,
And
the
then-
weird thing is, while it's kind of got this kind of heart of darkness, it keeps moving and it's very alive.
Yeah,
The film. It's not
it
heavy.
totally takes
and,
you by
know,
surprise.
Yeah.
It totally takes you by surprise.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my question, right? With all of this reception that you have and you have that confidence under the belt, how come no theatrical release?
But that's a question
is
that applies
a-
to a lot of
It's a tough.
A lot of films today.
Today, it's a question that it should be
And
asked.
worldwide also.
Yeah,
Worldwide,
In
worldwide.
America, what plays in
Worldwide.
America?
I
Only
mean,
superhero films play in
traditional-
America.
yeah,
No, if you
even
look at,
tradi-
I'm saying just look at the films that played at Cannes this month. I think 6 of them will release on movie.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
It's crazy. No, it's just that I think without like sort of stars in a sort of tentpole spectacle film,
Even-
today in
even
India,
today.
it's almost like becoming hard to put out films that have.
It's really,
And even the audiences
no.
want to watch it at home. I feel like there's a bit of that also.
There's a bit of
Yeah,
that.
actually,
More than a bit.
Yeah, also, it's not about theatrical release versus direct to digital. It's about the correct theatrical release,
that's the correct category.
right? The thing is that with this particular film also, when finally Vic and I were arm twisting Gaurav that listen, we are getting a good opportunity, put this out, let's go for it. I remember we were on a rooftop of a restaurant and we were on calls and we were saying, just go, we were saying, pick it up, just he had an opportunity for a theatrical release and we just said ki it's the right theatrical release. If you get, it's no point in releasing something just for the sake of a theatrical release.
This is true.
But it was a no-brainer for us in the sense when
Yeah.
we were
They do
discussing it with
marketing.
Gaurav, we kept saying that 240 countries, Amazon is the right
Yeah.
platform for it. It will take off. People will get to watch it. We'll be able to push it the best way that we can push it with Amazon.
So actually, so out of curiosity as filmmakers, when you were talking about the fact that people are reacting and you can hear, the reaction becomes contagious in a theatre.
Yes.
Because everyone's reacting at the same time and they're playing off each other. That room tends to, like the energy is
As
different.
filmmakers and artists, we miss that.
Yeah.
So, but now you're
100%.
making things differently because OTT is an entire environment available to you that's different. Does that play when you're, through the process?
But somehow the comments have replaced the audience, like in the theater. So when you I don't know, for me, I can hear them when they're writing whatever they're writing on YouTube or Instagram or wherever, like in social media. In a way, you get the kind of reaction or what kind of reaction the audience is giving towards the product.
I think also the grammar of filmmaking, if you're going straight to streaming, is quite different.
Very different. And we are constantly hearing, saying, but ultimately log to screen pe
Phone पे ही
phone पे
देखेंगे.
dekh rahe
Which
hain.
is the most disheartening thing.
We are mixing on
Which
this
is the
huge
most,
theatre.
which is the most disheartening thing, but it's also the biggest kind of like because
It's a leveler.
it is a leveler, but it's also one of those things of like, okay, you've succeeded if people are watching it on their phones.
When you're making film and actually releasing your film, you're competing with another film. Because there are 10 films releasing on a certain day, so you're competing with another film. But when you're releasing on a streamer, you're actually competing with Instagram.
My experience with Stolen, I'll tell you, because after Venice, when I started seeing the film, and I have known Abhishek for like, God knows, 2008, 7? 2007, 8.
2008.
So for me, it's like, I have seen his entire, I have never taken him more seriously as an actor. Amar Kaushik took him more seriously as an actor. I know he's a good actor, but for me, he was the
Yeah,
casting director.
casting director, yeah,
He was
even for
so
me.
many things. And
I started from your film only.
Yeah,
Devdi was my
Devdi.
first casting.
So anyway, so for me, it's like, I know his funny bone. I know his comic timing. Then he totally blew me with playing Hathoda Tyagi.
Yeah.
So मैं कहा अभी क्या करेगा ये?
Oh my God.
And then when the film started, and that whole railway station when it starts, and first time I'm seeing him play a perfect ass. I'm like, यार, how good is this guy? मतलब ऐसा ना कि घर की मुर्गी दाल बराबर. You don't see these things in a person. बाहर के लोग ज्यादा देखते हैं, आपको नहीं दिखता. For me it's like, यार ये क्या range है इस आदमी का? Like I've seen the funny bone, I've seen हथौड़ा त्यागी. Now it's like he's just the asshole brother to this sweet brother.
बस
And
वही
how-
अपना सफल हो गया.
So my thing is like, and
So on the note of Abhishek, who is apparently, I'm told, the man to watch right now because brilliant artist. And I'm also told that you did all of your stunts on this. So you and Tom Cruise now on top. But tell us what this film has meant for you in your career. And
I think it was immediately after Patal Lok, I was getting a lot of psycho killer parts. So I think अनुराग सर ने बोला भी था मुझे फोन करके कि तुझे बहुत आएंगे ऐसे ऑफर्स आएंगे. तो सबने मुझे रेडी भी किया था. तो मैंने बोला था ऐसा नहीं होगा यार. Of course people have seen me doing comedy and I'll get like varied parts. But unfortunately मुझे सबसे ज़्यादा psycho killer parts आए. I was meeting a lot of independent filmmakers because I really wanted to do an indie film. My first film was Ajji and I had a lot of fun on that. And I wanted to have that kind of fun again. So मैंने फिर मिल रहा था तो and suddenly Gaurav through who I don't know you.
Guru.
Guru.
Through Guru.
Oh, Guru.
So
Gurmeet
Guru,
Mirzapur's
that's
director.
yeah.
So he introduced us and he came and Katie was there with him. They narrated me the story a little bit.
And you ghosted them for 2 months.
अब देखो भैया सब
It was differently sequenced. Now that it is out, I have to say. Now,
But actually, when he was the only actor who firstly didn't want us to narrate it. He read the script, replied in like 5 days after reading it. So that was definitely the beginning of I don't know what else.
Yeah, when we approached him,
there was no
it was
ghost.
not 5 actually, 3 days.
3, whatever,
Yeah, he
whatever.
read it the next day. Then he said, "I've read it and I want to sleep on it for another day. I'll read another time and then I'll speak to you guys." And he spoke and it was very easy after that.
Very easy, yes.
So as the producer, you didn't have to track him down at a random event.
No, that was later. That was later. That
Like
was
months later, I think.
That was later, and that was also because I had some suggestions on the script, and
Okay.
and I was very, very convinced that certain things needed to come out, and it was not coming out. So GD और मेरे बीच में थोड़ी लड़ाई हो गई, and you know we actually had creative differences, and I feel that I love when that happens, and when people can collaborate and work again with that. So there was a standstill and I was not picking up his calls. और ये मुझे phone किया जा रहा था और some event you want to narrate the story. What?
No, I was trying to call him because we wanted to shoot and we had lined up everything because when you're shooting in a small town, there is a window of when the weddings don't happen.
No.
Because then the hotels are available. Because the hotel industry is running on weddings. So we had a limited window and he was ghosting us because he wanted, some changes. So when he's not picking up, I was in Delhi. I flew in, I knew which event he is going to be in Marriott. I reached there and I, in the middle of the event, called him and said, we got to talk because the crew's sitting there and I need you there.
So great jumping off point for me. For the rest of the table, what does behaving very Bollywood mean to you?
Ghost. यही phone ना उठाना, ghost कर देना.
Ghosting? Is that the worst thing that happens? People don't respond?
हाँ, saying कि अच्छा है then nothing.
I mean, not being honest, straightforward.
मतलब मना कर दो.
Yeah,
हाँ
say
कर
no.
दो.
So, Karan, you also wrote the film.
Yeah.
Tell us where this came from. Where did the idea come from? Because, like everybody else, it's just nobody can ever predict where the story is going.
That was that sort of writing was more sort of engineered for the genre aspect of the film, But the story for me started with these. I came across these videos that I saw online of two young men. One of them was a musician, the other one an accountant of some kind. Both lived in Bombay, went back to Assam. It was called the Karbi Anglong lynching. And these videos were doing the rounds of the internet, very kind of like people were just like sort of voyeuristically watching those videos, and how it gets. But I was super affected by them because these two boys were from the cities, loved to go to the outdoors. They went on a fishing trip, and they were wrongfully accused of being child kidnappers, and then brutally lynched by this mob of 500 people. And so the videos are all of them, made by the crowd, and it's like a cat, and they're bleeding. It's really horrible, highly violent videos that I was really kind of set a fear in me, basically, because I did that with my friends all the time. Go to like some random part of this country, trekking into some weird space, and very comfortably always. I never could even, the first time when I saw that, and then of course soon later realized that there were hundreds of such cases that kind of had taken place in that time.
Just recently a couple has disappeared in Northeast.
Exactly. So that's where it sort of started, and wanted to tell that story about those two boys and what they experienced. And that's when I was like saying I just wanted to put myself, because I could kind of feel that I was there, and I just wanted to put somebody in the backseat on what sort of they could have felt. And so it started there.
I think when we started on 1st of November, in 3 weeks, I think we were in Pushkar finding locations, because that is the best thing about the film, that very quickly we aligned on the vision very fast.
I think by the time they came to me, they had already seen the film. So I was like very convinced that they know what they're making. I just didn't know how.
But Gaurav, as producer, what was the challenge for you?
There is a gunshot scene, which I don't want to spoil it. And the performance on that was just another level, another level. And he was very happy. Later we noticed, because we had these 2 cars. One car we bought because that was 30% of the film. I said, "Ye set mera hai, ye lo ji." So we bought the car so we could play around with it in prep, in all the time. And the second car was the car we needed to change the rig and do it fast, By accident, we kept the headrest. Because if you shoot from the behind, the headrest comes in, you can't see the face. So we shortened the headrest. But in this shot, that headrest was not. There was the wrong headrest. There was a continuity jerk. So we shot that. Everybody loved it. Abhishek. And I saw it. I said, shit. And these guys are saying, koi nahi dekhega, yaar, koi nahi dekhega. And I said, no. We gotta shoot this. We gotta shoot it again.
I was convincing him, रहने दे यार, हो गया, किसी को नहीं पता लगने वाला.
I said, no.
कम दिख रहा
Telling
था.
the producer, I love it. I love
कम दिख रहा था.
And all we are saying, अरे पागल हो गया.
All the first AD or somebody saying it. Yeah. Usually I say यार अगर लोग देख रहे हो तो अभिषेक को acting बंद कर देना चाहिए यार.
Correct. हम लोग ऐसे एक्टर को देखते हैं.
सब एक्टर को देख रहे हैं. कौन देख रहा है गेट?
Did you finally shoot it again?
Yes.
Yeah, next day.
Again, and Kiran, the actors did a photographic performance, and we got the most beautiful light.
And the entire set.
We had no light that they deserved.
Wow.
It was beautiful.
Amazing.
It was beautiful.
Great.
It was really nice.
क्या बात है गौरव जी?
यार ये तो कमाल का है. ऐसा प्रोड्यूसर सबको मिला.
Yeah, ऐसा producer सबको मिले.
For the whole table, right? For first-time filmmakers, young filmmakers who have an idea that they're toying with, how important is it, in your opinions, to keep that idea pure?
First-time filmmakers are the purest and the best.
Yes,
I prefer to watch first-time filmmakers film, because what happens is we get clever with each film,
Yeah.
Correct.
and that's the biggest problem. Like people still date come and walk up to me and they don't even know what is the last film I made, but they say Black Friday क्या film थी. Black Friday जिसने बनाई थी वो कौन था मुझे नहीं मालूम. But dealing with censors, dealing with market, dealing with everything, you get smarter about everything, and in the process, you're like, वो purity कहाँ गई?
I think that foolish ambition. I think at some level,
It's a very foolish ambition.
We all have that.
Actually.
Our first film's like, well, we'll get it made.
Hey,
Like,
Udaan.
it doesn't make a difference. But in Stolen's case, it's when you watch the film, it's so easy. I mean, it looks very simple. So, oh, you got to chase sequence. Those guys are falling that kind. But the ambition which he's shot there. Now the thing is that he's like, no, I want to be able to use that drone. And I want to be able to have that from inside the car. And I'm looking and I'm watching the film. I'm like, wow, this is a really.
It's a really well
It's
made.
a cracking.
Like you can,
That chase sequence is cracking. It's probably the best chase sequence I've ever seen in Indian cinema. And it's really up there with anything else. But I know how hard that is to shoot.
Yeah. With crowds, with I'm saying handling the crowd scenes, handling everything.
Coordination.
It is like, as a filmmaker, you know how difficult it is to do it.
It's
And I
such
was
a
driving
difficult
the
scene to
car.
do, but that's only a first-time filmmaker will go out there and say, you know what, I'm going to get it done, whatever happens, I'm going to do it. Because a third-time filmmaker will be like, nahi yaar, this is going to be too difficult.
Yeah, it's bravado.
finding solutions.
That bravado and that
Bravado
foolishness,
is, yeah.
and that foolishness is a first-time filmmaker's ambition.
I want to ask you a question from a non-film person, right? So I know he acted, he directed, he produced. What do EPs do?
this.
we are the हम लोग ऐसे करके
Champion.
लेके खड़े हुए हैं कि बॉस
हाँ, please देखो.
We kind of, yeah, I think it's putting your whatever gathered goodwill, might, whether it's like in terms of getting you to a distributor, whatever it is, it's like championing the film in whatever way
it's
is
like,
required.
Sometimes there's a certain kind of an audience who have faith in your taste. They have faith in your taste in films. So what happens is these are actually 4 diverse people with 4 diverse taste, all 4 endorsing the same film. Has to be something there, no?
So, well, technically, an EP, and again, there's been a difference in the way the EP term has been used in India and internationally. Like in India, the EP is like the line producer is called the EP. Whereas internationally, normally the creative producer, somebody who has maybe put it together or has got, is from the studio or has managed to, sort of like, so your, would be the EP. And I think that's now coming into India right now, where in a series you'll find the showrunner, for example, in a series. The showrunner is not a title, but they'll have executive producer credit because they are the creative voice of the series. In this case, I think it's just the 4 of us are there. We're here to help in any which way they wanted. Anyway, Gaurav and Karan and everybody wanted us to sort of like be there.
Good films.
Yeah.
But yeah, largely
It's
just
like,
to be able to.
It's like for Neeraj's film, if Scorsese comes on as an EP, the idea is like putting your name, your
might behind it.
Yes,
Your might
behind
behind it.
championing something that you believe in.
Collectively, we have endorsed a lot of rubbish.
I beg to differ.
I mean,
Speak for yourself, Nikhil.
when we are asked to put this out, ye tweet डालो, ये करो, वो करो, ये करो, वो करो. We've done quite a lot of stuff, right? I mean, we don't really question it, and we say, yeah, of course, we'll help you out. If it, not knowing very well that how many people are actually going to go and see it, because I mean, I'm saying, oh, wow, this wonderful, whatever, great, whatever. When we again started talking about it, and then we said, okay, there's a possibility of getting this film out there. How do we, literally put your collective might behind it and say, okay, can I make a phone call? And can, we just say, okay, Kiran and Anurag are also part of it right now, and we are also moving together. They love the film. And I think that using the so-called credibility that we have and just hoping people are just going to buy into that and watch the film.
You don't endorse anything without watching it, not even like a tweet.
I have to like a film. When I love a film, I dance with
You
the
don't
film on
need
my
to
head.
ask him to say something nice.
Nobody
That's
asks
the cool
me.
thing about him. If he likes something, he'll just say it.
I'll just say it.
I think as filmmakers, we all want good films to be out there.
No, it
And
gives us strength.
gives us strength, yeah.
Because otherwise you're dealing constantly with people who are telling you to dumb things down.
Yeah.
And for me it becomes like, look at Stolen. It has worked. So it gives us a lot of strength.
Yeah.
In negotiations, in arguments,
And
across.
it gives the studios confidence in the fact that, okay, if this works, then it's fine. Then, you can sort of
Yeah,
like,
we can do more of this. Yeah, take more risks,
purist.
and like
Yeah.
give our new things a chance.
What do you mean by purist?
Stolen is it's purist in the sense that there's no compromise has been taken either on story or on script or on anything to sort of like try and make it more commercial in the wrong way.
broad-based.
It's commercial in the right way. It's the right kind of genre, pure genre film that that gives me a kick, and I don't give a whole bunch of us a kick to be able to go and watch this kind of movie in like a solid indie genre film.
Socially conscious storytelling, right? It's an interesting space right now because OTT platforms allow for more of this. But how important is the messaging here for all of you?
Really important. I know for myself, but I know it's important for most people around this table, because as people making work, artists in India today, there's so many things that we are responding to at all times, and to have an opportunity to do that through your work is a high for all of us. We want to be able to speak to our times, speak to our problems, It's exciting, and I think Stolen does that so beautifully, because it's not necessarily just coming at you with a message. It's doing it with this remarkably exciting story plot, very new storytelling, but it's giving you truth bomb after truth bomb,
Actually, so I want to know from all of you what according to you, would be success for this film.
I'm honestly, I didn't even expect any of this. So, it's like way, way beyond my imagination. I find myself extremely blessed to have made this film. it's a two-way street. We don't just make a film, the film makes us. That story itself evolves. It's an animal of its own. It has a life, you know. So for me, I mean, it's way beyond anything. मैं तो बहुत आगे निकल चुका हूँ now. Everything is like, you know, is a win, more and more
Everything's a
and more.
bonus at this
And this happened a year ago. I was like, you know, I mean, so I'm full up with gratitude that this film has brought.
Abhishek?
Just hope it reaches maximum audience. I think that's the whole idea. We were just,
I mean, as
when we
film-
were making it, I think we never discussed that we're going to make an indie film.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Never
that
told
was
us
never
that.
the
We
idea.
always said that we're going to make a film which audience is going to enjoy. And and now finally it is coming out. I think we're just excited to see how they will react.
Absolutely.
I think as filmmakers, we want the maximum number of the people in the world to see it, and that's what Amazon is giving us, you know.
I mean, the clutter-breaking work which all of them have done, I think that's exactly we are trying to do. Like, we're trying to like create probably a disruptive product through Stolen.
Good film will give you success immediately or delayed
Yeah.
or sometime or the other. It lasts a long time, and because of which you last a long time.
Very true. Very well said.
Yeah, success. I mean, for me, is like for all these gentlemen to make many more films. You know, is like that. In that's in success, and if that can
More films
trigger
like
more
Stolen
films
get made
generally,
longer
not
and
just
make
them, but
films.
other people can make more films like Stolen, or you know, which is again just like great cinema. That's success here. So
What's your measure of success?
Hope that
You're talking to Advani
Another-
and Motwane. You know, Sindhi's measure of success is very different.
no, I hope that the next KT doesn't need the four of us to endorse his film. And I think that the one conversation is there that the industry is not as cynical as everybody makes it out to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who are
Absolutely.
willing to put their reputation on the line and say, hey, this is something very, very good. You should go and watch it. That's one. The second thing is that they're good filmmakers. I mean, Anurag and Kiran and Motwane have been doing it for a decade now. Quietly, loudly, however, Anurag to everything is loud. So he's been pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. Finally, I think what we got to for Gaurav is that, listen, hello, we'll make a couple of phone calls and people will listen to you.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, so I think that is the big victory. If the next KT doesn't need us and the film just comes out, you know, and we watch it and say, wow, fantastic. That's the big victory.
Kiran? Last word.
For me, the success for this film would be if like as many people across the world watch it honestly, and the great thing about streaming is that it's there are things that will trend, and I hope this is trending #1 and all the rest of it. But I know that this is a film that will endure. It will become a classic. People will watch it at some point, and that's what my dream for the film is.
For whatever your measure of success is, I wish you all very good luck, and I wish the film very good luck. For our audience at home, remember you can catch Stolen on Prime Video. Go watch it. Yay! Watch it, watch it.